How you doing, Rich Canone? Good to be with you, bro.
Good to talk to you as always, Lou. We appreciate a couple moments. This is an interesting card because I'll get into, I think, what's going to be the fight of the night, but I want to talk about a couple of these young fighters. I mean, obviously, in our backyard, we'll see Millville's Thomas Lamana, we'll see Joey Dewechko, but how about Evgen Kitrov? I mean, I had an opportunity to call this kid's second pro fight, and he absolutely annihilated Roman Barber. I mean, they're calling this kid the Ukrainian Lion. Great amateur middleweight champ. Yeah. Talk a little bit about him.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast. His amateur record rivaled that of Golovkin.
Yep.
He's tremendously poised fighter. His amateur record was astounding. I mean, he's one of those kind of kids with 300 amateur wins and a couple of handfuls of losses. Tremendous physical specimen, relentless in the ring, makes great fights, not afraid to get hit, boxing ability, but really also tremendous amount of firepower. This is the kind of guy that's going to be the guy that beats Golovkin down the line.
Wow!
And the interesting thing about this card is, this kid has been on Dan Rayfield of ESPN's Prospect of the Year list.
Yep.
He's been on most Prospect of the Year lists. One of the best prospects I've ever signed and promoted. I co-promote him with with another promotional company that has great relationships with the Ukraine and with Eastern European fighters. The interesting thing is the kid in the and by the way, Kitrov's he's fighting Nick Brinson.
Yeah, New York State
champ.
He's
a real fighter.
Yep.
I mean, a real New York State champ, a Showbox veteran, where he beat Jorge Melendez on Showbox in a fight that he was underdog, a puncher, a legitimate world class guy. He's a tremendous opponent for Kitrov. The kid in the main event,
yes, Sergey
Deverenchenko.
Yep.
This is the kid that some people are sleeping on. And the interesting thing is, in the Ukraine, the experts in Eastern Europe, and particularly in the Ukraine, viewed Deverenchenko as superior to Kitrov. Now, for our fans' purposes, Kitrov's an electric guy, tremendous firepower. But Deverenchenko's nickname was like the surgeon. Like
technician. Yep.
He's a guy that's
the
technician. He's a guy that's like technically almost perfect. But the interesting thing is his technical perfection makes him he is literally a wrecking ball of a fighter because he's so technically sound, so physically strong. He doesn't knock you out with the one punch the way Kitrov does. He breaks you down, breaks your psyche, breaks your body, and then knocks you out.
Yeah.
And Deverenchenko's amateur record was ungodly.
Right.
I mean, even he had an amateur record that was literally in the same realm as Golovkin. And so you have two of the best prospects in the world at middleweight. Literally, in my mind, you have the two best prospects in the world at middleweight. The two guys most likely to be able to decrown Golovkin down the line, fighting on this card in Atlantic City.
I tell you,
and to add some spice.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, just real quick, amateur backgrounds speak for themselves. I mean, again, Sergey represents the UK at the 2008 Olympics. I mean, look, he's a wonderful fighter, and you mentioned Kitrov. The one thing about Kitrov that I actually like is the fact that you mentioned the power, you mentioned the hand speed. I think both these guys have it. They move around the ring well. They're smart fighters, and they don't panic for young fighters. And look, I like the fact that they're being tested when they go up against guys with 10, 11, 12, 13 pro fights, and they have a handful of pro fights under their belt. That tells me that's good matchmaking. They're ready to be tested.
No, we're testing these guys. We don't have any fear with these guys at all. And honestly, I really believe within 18 months, maybe shorter, Deverenchenko, who's a little bit older than Kitrov, a little bit more experienced. I mean, I don't think that kid's much more than a year away from where I would say he would be the toughest test so far in Golovkin's career.
Wow.
And that includes Lemieux. I would put Kitrov in I would put Deverenchenko in with Lemieux tomorrow and expect to win. And that's not like I mean that there's no like hyperbole there. I would put him in. I would put Deverenchenko in with Lemieux tomorrow and believe that I had the winning fighter. So I think that these guys are two tremendous prospects, and they're intimidating prospects. These are guys that honestly are already, that fear factor is developing around them the way it developed around Golovkin.
Yeah,
that's a double-edged sword a little bit. We were able to get two good opponents here. Elvin Ayala's fighting Deverenchenko.
Yep.
Ayala's been in there with world-class guys, title fights, And in his last fight, what really got him this opportunity was he beat Ronald Gavril, who was an undefeated prospect that a lot of people had high hopes for, and Ayala got in there and beat him.
Yeah, back-to-back upset wins. Yep, his last two bouts.
Yep. Yeah. Right, and last about he upset two people in a row. So he earned this opportunity.
Yeah.
Brinson, as we said, a very tough guy.
And
then in the opening fight that's going to be on. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Luke. Go ahead. No, please. No. Yeah, that's all right, Luke. Go ahead.
In the opening fight, the opening fight is a fight that I am really excited about. I promote both guys. They're Amos Coward is a kid from Florida with tremendous power.
Right.
Regis Prograis is a sort of a really inspirational story. Regis Prograis was homeless after Katrina in New Orleans. His family lost their home, lost all their possessions. The kid was a terrific amateur fighter fighting out in New Orleans. He had to regroup. He left New Orleans, went to Houston, Texas. He's like a Creole kid from New Orleans. His nickname is Rue Garou, which is a mythical character that's sort of like a werewolf. And the kid's incredibly colorful. He comes into the ring, with this like very realistic looking werewolf kind of mask. Good kid, huge knockout ratio himself. I don't see any way that first fight's not going to be explosive, and I don't see any way that it goes a distance. Because both of these guys, neither one of these guys has gone the distance very often.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at their records, you're talking about two guys with 90% knockout ratios. That doesn't happen very often. Regis has 12 knockouts in 14 fights. Amos Coward has 9 knockouts and 11 wins. So, and then off TV, like you said, we have Cornflake LaManna.
Yep, rebounding. Trying to rebound from that loss against Douglas.
Right, and losing to Douglas is no disgrace. Douglas is a good prospect.
Yep.
Anthony Bergen, another local kid in the Philadelphia area, one loss. Joey DeWaco, the heavyweight, who's really a tough kid. And then I got Noel Murphy, an Irish kid that I promote, a young kid, big following. You're going to see a lot of fans there for him. And then there's contender, middleweight contender, Avantil Kurtsidis, who's world ranked and a really tough guy, sort of has that build of a Lil Tyson, a real come forward, offensive-minded middleweight. And I think the whole card's going to be entertaining. But from the standpoint of getting to see future talent, getting to see Deverenchenko and Heatrov in competitive bouts, you're really looking at two guys that could be the next Golovkins. And then that opening fight between Regis Prograis and Amos Coward, someone's going to get knocked out. It's going to be explosive. It's going to be a kind of fun fight that people want to watch. It's a nationally televised show on Showbox. The doors open at 6:30, first bout at 7. Show times on air at 10 p.m. Eastern time. It's triple header on TV, and we priced the tickets really well. You can get unbelievable seats, ringside seats for $120, great seats for $60 through Ticketmaster, 1-800-745-3000. That's 1-800-745-3000 or www.ticketmaster.com. It's in the ballroom at Bally's Atlantic City,
Good
which
venue.
is a great little venue. Very intimate, not a bad seat in the house. I'm promoting an association with my partners, Fight Promotions Inc. and we're sponsored by Vodka Miyakov. And obviously, Vodka Miyakov is it's not because of me. It's because of Brinchenko and Hitrov, because they're supporting.
Yeah, I won't touch that one, Lou.
They're supporting two. They're supporting two stars from the Ukraine and guys that they figure have world championship potential. So I think it's a great show. I think it's priced fairly. It's going to be an intimate setting, and I think it's an opportunity for people in Atlantic City that are a little bit starved for world-class, big-time fighting lately. I mean, obviously Atlantic City is going through trying times right now. It's challenging times at AC, and I'm really happy and I'm thankful to Ken Condon for helping me to place this, to the people at Bally's for taking this fight card, because Atlantic City's traditionally been one of the great venues for big world-time boxing. It's got a place in my heart. It was the home of Arturo Gatti.
Right.
It's where Sergio Martinez beat Kelly Pavlik. I've done some of the biggest fights in my career. I promoted them in Atlantic City. So, I think this is a great show for Atlantic City, and I hope that people come out and support it. And I look forward to everybody being in Bally's Ballroom on Friday night.
Hall of Fame promoter Lou DiBella joining us. Rich Quinones here. Lou, I know I got you for a couple more minutes. I want to do a quick little wrap-around, quick question and answer. Thoughts afterwards? Danny Garcia, first fight at 147 against Paulie. We kind of knew it was going to play out like that. When does Garcia now, with that one fight under his belt at 147, I don't like to say cherry picking, but at times I know how it works in boxing, just like you do, and I say it with respect. What can we see with Danny Garcia and a future opponent? What do you think? How do you think it's going to play out?
I think, I love Danny Garcia. I'm a big fan. But I think that there are some things in his armor that can be exploited. He's still, to me, I'm not fully sold on him as this unbeatable force. So I want to see one of those matchups that can be made among those Sean Porters,
yep,
Keith Thurmans, Amir Khans. Frankly, if he went to Brooklyn and he fought the Algeri that I saw fight Amir Khan, that wouldn't be such a bad fight either. I think I'd give Algeri a hell of a chance to press him to the limit. But I would love, the fight I most want to see right now, frankly, style-wise, I'd like to see Danny Garcia and Sean Porter.
I would agree to that. I would agree. I don't. You can't go wrong with that. And you see if Porter can exploit some of Danny Garcia's weaknesses. All right, moving quick, heavyweight division. Tarver and Cunningham. I know they were feisty. I spoke to both of them respectively. To me, this is it. Whoever loses his fight is not going to be is not relevant anymore, and the winner stays relevant in the heavyweight division.
It's a life or death fight, which makes for a good fight. And it's like someone's retiring and someone's going to get a shot at the world heavyweight title. They don't like each other. The promotion, it's the chippiest promotion I've seen in a long time between two heavyweights. These guys have been in each other's face. And I like both of them. They're friends of mine, but there's been a lot of clashing between these two guys. And I think part of it is, they both know what's at stake.
Right.
The loser's probably going to retire. The winner's going to get a shot at the heavyweight title. That's at Prudential Center in New Jersey, August 14th. People should be getting their tickets again through Ticketmaster at the Prudential Center box office, because that's a terrific fight.
Yes, it is.
Also matched with a fight that I'm really excited about. Marco Captain Huck, I think the best cruiserweight in the world, a cruiserweight who's already a legitimate top 10 heavyweight. I thought he beat Povetkin, who's one of the heavyweight real contender stars. And Marco Huck is a guy that I've wanted to work with for a long time. He's the best cruiserweight in the world. I mean, he's really a terrific TV fighter. He's fighting an undefeated Polish kid, Glowacki. They're doing it at Prudential Center in a card that's heavily stacked with Polish fighters like Szpilka, the up-and-coming Polish heavyweight, and a bunch of other Polish prospects. That fight card is August 14th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Tickets at Ticketmaster at the Prudential box office. But I think that's a terrific card. And like you said, the winner of Tarver and Cunningham is going to get a big fight. The loser has got to consider packing his bags and going home.
About 20 seconds. Early thought, Mayweather, Berto, and it's a PPV. And, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Mayweather.
I mean, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I would have been personally happier if it was on free TV. But the thing about pay-per-view is you're not forced to buy.
I agree.
So it's like,
I agree.
If you don't like it,
don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
I agree.
Don't buy it. I mean, I don't want to hear.
I'm talking opponent. I'm talking for the opponent, though. You all right?
Opponent, here's my thought on opponent. Berto's been being disrespected.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is, no offense to Amir Khan, Amir Khan's not beaten Mayweather. Nor are any of the other possible opponents that were out there for Mayweather. They're not beating Mayweather. And I know Andre Berto. I promoted him most of his career. He's my friend. And he can punch. And this is the opportunity of his lifetime. It's almost like a Rocky story for him. He's going to go down out there. He's going to throw down with everything he has.
House money.
No, he's not a disgraceful opponent. Look, he's not a disgraceful opponent. He's a legitimate opponent. You know, are people going to run to buy the pay-per-view? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I'm happy for my friend. I'm happy for a kid I used to promote. I know he can punch. I know he's going to give 110%. And if people don't want to buy it, don't buy it. I'm not twisting anyone's arm, and I'm sure that the people promoting the fight can't twist anyone's arm. People are going to buy it if they want to see it. Mayweather's the best fighter in the world. In my mind, there's nothing disgraceful about Berto as an opponent. He's as good as anybody else, for the most part, that Mayweather could be fighting on pay-per-view right now. Mayweather's a small welterweight, not a middleweight. Any idiot who ever mentioned Golovkin and Mayweather is just that, an idiot. Golovkin's a great fighter. Golovkin's fighting another middleweight, in October. Like Golovkin, Mayweather's going to go out there. There's a limited pool of guys for him to fight. And honestly, no offense to anybody out there, there's nobody at 140 pounds right now, with 147 pounds right now, that's beating Floyd Mayweather. And you know what? At least Berto's going to go out there knowing he's an underdog.
And throw.
Knowing that he's got to hurt Mayweather. Yeah. Go out there and he's going to put caution to the wind. And he's going to throw haymakers. He's going to throw big punches. And I think, honestly, I'm going to give my boy credit. I think Berto's going to make it fun.
All right.
You know, and again, people don't want to buy it.
Don't
want to buy it. Nobody's making it.
I like fired up Lou DiBella, and I'm up against a break, and I didn't even get to chime in. Have you chime in on your Mets 5 in a row, playing some good baseball?
I am thrilled with my Mets.
Don't get carried away.
I'm thrilled with my first place Mets. Oh, I'm not getting carried away, but we're going to win the division. Wow. And if we win the division, we are a nightmare.
Oh boy, here it comes.
Steven Matz comes back in September. We are a nightmare for anybody in baseball because we have the best pitching.
Yeah,
when we can throw out in the playoffs, when you throw out Matt Harvey for Mr. Syndergaard, and then follow that by
you throw in Neeson there. You have Syndergaard, Harvey, DeGrom. Yep.
But DeGrom right now is come on, you got to go Harvey, Syndergaard, DeGrom.
Yeah, in a series.
Potentially Matt.
Yeah.
And we still got. And then we still have Neeson, Bartolo Colon. I mean, this pitching staff is what wins the playoffs. So if we get to the playoffs, we're gonna scare the bejesus out of people.
We'll get you back on before October.
Please do. It's always a pleasure to be with you.